Good morning, everybody. Galen, what's up? Good morning. Where are we?
Well, we are in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We just left the Sweet Diner, which I got to tell you, was pretty sweet.
It was really good, for sure.
Darn it, we should have taken some photos of that.
The food, we didn't.
Yeah, the bacon was insane.
Oh, well, sorry, people.
So we're headed over to the Harley Museum, right?
We are headed over to the Harley Museum. We stayed last night in the Iron Horse Hotel.
Yes, we did. And who are we meeting over there?
We're going to meet Travis at Harley Davidson and Tim, the museum curator. Whoa, look at the bridge coming up here.
Yeah. We'll see a vessel coming through here at some point. You know what? I am super stoked to go do this. I've heard Lance talk about it before. I can't wait. Actually, I'm going to sit right here. You know, we'll see what comes through. How about you? You excited?
Very excited to see that. Like you say, it's something that it's the history of what we're riding.
Yeah, Lance and Dom were able to enjoy that, and I'm just stoked. I can't wait to. And it's nice of them. Like, I don't think the museum's open right now. They're doing a special deal for us.
Yeah, we're getting the VIP tour.
Look at that American flag right there.
Yes, sir. This is called the Historic Third Ward. That little vessel right there?
No, that can't be it.
Is that the lead boat?
Look at that bridge, man.
I mean, if that gets down a little different angle here, we could probably jump it.
I'd do that. Just
go second gear and do it.
Do it like Cole Freeman. No brakes, just go for it.
There she is.
Wow. So that's what I thought we'd see something quite a bit bigger, but
there she goes.
You never know what you're going to see on the road, right?
That's a slow mover right there. Now we could hit it. Let's go. There's the boys. And here we go.
Yeah, look at the river.
Where are we headed right now?
We are headed to the Harley Museum.
You know, what a great way to end this 2,600 mile journey from California to here to actually go to this museum.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. I'm also excited to talk to Tommy over at the House of Harley.
Yeah, that's going to be great. They've been nothing but great.
Look at this place.
You can get some demo rides here. There's our hotel. He's chasing us in the golf cart. Harley Davidson 1903, baby.
Wow, look at this place.
There it is.
Hey, 2-laners, we're here in the House of Harley Museum.
Yes.
It's crazy. I'm so stoked that we're here. Look at this rich history that we've got.
I mean, we're going to take a tour, and this is the homeland. This is the motherland of Harley Davidson right here. So we're going to take you on a great tour of this place.
Yeah, they're allowing us to do some filming, and so hopefully you'll enjoy what we're about to show you.
Yeah, I mean, Harley Davidson is going to give us the VIP tour, which is a rare thing and a great thing. So we're stoked.
Stay tuned.
You guys rode in, it looks like?
We did.
Good. I rode in this morning too. A little brisk.
Our ride was a little farther, maybe.
Oh,
We came from Santa Monica, the pier,
okay.
the ending of Route 66.
So my name is Bob, I'll be your tour guide today. On our tour today, we'll talk a little bit about the people, the products. We'll get you in some of the galleries, not all the galleries here. Talk a little bit about how the company got started here, taking the archives here. Just to give you the lay of the land. The reason why we're up here is because This gives an idea of how the museum is set up. We're on 20 acres of land,
Wow.
3 buildings. The building across the way is our garage. Every summer we have summer exhibits there. This summer, last summer we had it on racing motorcycles, a little history about race, Harley Davidson racing. This side here, this building here is our gift shop here in the corner. If you're thirsty or hungry, we have a bar called Motor. Up on the second floor where the black bricks are, that's called Rumble. We lease out for weddings, conventions, get-togethers. We have about 75 ED weddings here.
Wow.
People get married out on the lawn over here and then have a reception up in that area called Rumble. But we're going to concentrate on the building itself here, the museum building. That consists of 2 levels. Upper level, we'll head over there. Old bikes from 1903 to 1947. Lower level, we have the bikes from 1948 to 2020. We have one here from nearly every year except during World War II. No civilian bikes were built. We have a lot of military bikes. But we'll talk a little bit about the military here. Questions or anything, guys? Before we start, any dying questions or anything?
No, we're just super excited.
All right, you guys are stoked. Let's go. We're going to head to the museum. But we're going to talk a little bit about history on the right-hand side. We're going to probably go through about 5 galleries of history here. We're going to show you the oldest Harley Davidson first of all. This is serial number 1.
Really?
When you guys go through the museum, you're going to see motorcycles. In front of every motorcycle, you have a text panel. The text panel gives you a little information about that motorcycle, tell the year, the parts, the accessories of that motorcycle. But if you get a little closer, take a look in the lower right-hand corner. It'll tell you if the motorcycle is restored or unrestored. 95% of our motorcycles in the museum are unrestored.
Wow.
And 5% are restored. The motorcycle in front of us here had a restoration done back in the mid-1990s for the 85th anniversary of Harley Davidson. And while the restoration was done, something was found interesting in the interior part of the engine, the crankcase, the lower part. What was found was serial number 1. Now, we're not sure if this is the original engine from the original series of motorcycles from 1903. That year, Harley Davidson built 3 motorcycles. And since about 1915, 16, 17 or so, Harley Davidson Company has pulled 1 motorcycle off the line, keeping it here for the museum. Now, the ones prior to that you see in the museum are from dealers and some early collectors that donated motorcycles to the museum. And a lot of people think Harley Davidson invented the motorcycle. Now, the motorcycle was invented prior to Harley Davidson back in 1886 by a company called Daimler-Maybach, which is Mercedes' company today. The motorcycles were popular in Europe, came over to the United States about 1895. Harley Davidson started in 1903, still around today. Now, if you look at the fuel tank, you'll see the names Harley and Davidson. A little background about Harley. Harley's a first generation American. His father and grandfather came from England. The Davidson's 3 brothers, their relatives came from Scotland. Now, if you look on the right-hand side, you'll see 4 photographs of the founders. We have Arthur Davidson and William Harley. They were boyhood friends from early on. Arthur Davidson was a pattern maker by trade. William Harley was an engineer. He received his degree from the University of Wisconsin-Madison, got his degree in mechanical engineering, and he also worked at a bicycle shop, so he's very familiar with bicycles also. Walter Davidson was a mechanic, and then William Davidson at the end, he worked with tools. But being in Milwaukee at this time, 1903, 1904, Milwaukee was a machine shop of the world at that time. If the parts to build their motorcycle, they could contact a local foundry or metal fabricator. They custom make the parts of the motorcycle. Now, if you look around the glass display case on the floor, when the floor you see is lit up, you see some numbers. You can see 10 on this side, 15 on this side. This was the dimensions of the shed where they built their first motorcycle.
Oh, wow.
And if you guys want to head over here a little bit to the right here, let's take a look at this just briefly here. This gives you an idea of letterhead and stationery. Let's say, for instance, you bought a Harley Davidson dealership, that Harley Davidson would give the dealer's letterhead. What's interesting about that is it's pretty much the same photographs, but if you get a little closer, you'll see the name of the dealership, and you won't see any phone numbers. Phone numbers were new during that time. Telephones were new during that time. But if you look at the corners of the stationery, it'll give you an idea of the type of businesses where we sold our dealerships. A lot of these were bicycle shops in the early years, hardware stores, auto mechanic repair shops.
Very awesome.
Here we have a sales contract from 1916. This is the dealer contract. Now, if you look at the top line, a single-cylinder motorcycle would cost the dealer to purchase from Harley Davidson $175.
Oh, that's great.
Now, at the bottom of the sheet here is the markup price. Same motorcycle, same model, $215. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot of profit, but you got to remember the dollar's worth more than it is today.
Sure.
And selling motorcycles in the early years is kind of interesting. The way people purchased motorcycles in the early years was on layaway. If you're interested in buying your motorcycle, you go to your dealership, sign a contract, promise to pay $1 a week. After about a year and a half of payments, you'd have enough money to pre-purchase your motorcycle on layaway. Behind me here are some of the original accounting books which would keep records on your pre-purchased motorcycle. These are the dealer's books that they kept on it. Here we have some advertising here. Same photograph of the motorcycle, but if you get a little closer here, you're going to see different languages. Chinese, Japanese, Spanish, Dutch. This is early marketing.
Wow, they were ahead of their time.
Right above that, we have a photograph of our Gino Avenue location. This building's still around today. It's our corporate headquarters. Art Deco design. You'll see that distinct Harley-Davidson fuel tank even on motorcycles today. 1925, Harley-Davidson was selling between 25 to 28,000 motorcycles a year. Depression comes on about 1929, 1930. Motorcycle sales just decreased. Our worst year of sales was 1931, only 9,000 motorcycles were sold.
Wow.
Best year of sales, 2006. That year, 404,000 motorcycles.
Wow.
And out of those 404,000 motorcycles, 184,000 were sold here in the United States, 220,000 overseas. Black Red motorcycle, 1933. Very first year Harley-Davidson puts multi-colors on motorcycles. The marketing department believed if you put additional colors on motorcycles, it was going to, increase the sales. But it really never worked out that well. So back in 1934, 1935, Harley-Davidson met with his dealers at his annual dealership meetings in Milwaukee and asked the dealers, what can we do to increase the sales? And the company came up with the blue motorcycle in front of us. This is called the EL model, 1936, very first year of the knucklehead motorcycle.
Wow.
So this is new and improved. It has a lot of Art Deco design. Seats a little bit lower, handlebars a little bit farther back. Has a two-tone color scheme on it. Has a cool little fluted tailpipe.
Nice.
Now Harley-Davidson also put a lot of emphasis on selling his three-wheel motorcycles during the Depression. You guys look way up on top, the black and white photographs. These are called delivery cars or service cars for short. It was the service vehicle and the knucklehead model which saved the company during the depths of the Depression.
Wow.
All the way up until World War II. Now World War II comes along in 1942, 1945. Harley-Davidson gets another military contract to buy 89,000 motorcycles for the U.S. government. And we'll take it to the military. About 2 galleries down.
So it's
This is amazing. This is really amazing.
The models even today. You needed that yesterday,
I think that's the beauty of it.
right?
They don't
Look at that, Josh. You could have been in that.
Yes.
You wouldn't have been shaking so much, baby.
But it's new, but
Look at those gloves.
Right,
too.
right.
Yeah.
we'll talk a little bit about the
We
two
could put
bikes
that on your
over
bike.
On this side.
Yeah.
They had their very first police contract as early as 1908. Pittsburgh and Detroit were the first cities. Milwaukee a little bit later on, 1910. Now, if you look where the handlebars are, you're going to see a speaker. It's basically a one-way speaker because at this time, dispatch would contact the police officer, and the police officer would go on a service call. There's no microphone. The radio is located on the rear fender. You can see a black box on the right side, also on the left-hand side. Right above the rear fender, you're going to see a little, where the tail lamp is right above it, you're going to see kind of like a fan-shaped object. That's the antenna for the radio.
Huh.
On top of the fender, you're going to see that little black box. It's your first aid box, and under the radio, fire extinguisher, and you're going to see a flashlight. And if you look where the fuel tank is, you're going to see a speedometer. Now, the speedometer wasn't used for the motorcycles to catch speeders. But the majority of the police work in the early years was not so much to catch bad guys, it was mostly for traffic enforcement. In the early, very first military contract prior to World War I, back in 1916. Now, back in 1916, there was a war going on in Mexico and the United States, the Mexican Revolution. Here, Harley-Davidson provided 34 motorcycles to the U.S. government to catch Pancho Villa in Mexico.
Really?
This campaign went on for about 9 months, never caught him. World War I, like I said earlier, 20,000 were produced. World War II, 89,000. The motorcycle in front of us here was the most popular motorcycle from World War II. All the motorcycles are all built at our Juneau Avenue location in Milwaukee, and they're used on both fronts, the European front and also the Asian front. And they're shipped overseas on military boats. Now, if you look at the glass display case, you're going to see the motorcycles being shipped in crates. You see the Army and Navy mechanics take it out of the ferries, put them together like this. And that's the reason why they had to go to school, learn how to put these together.
Right.
Harley-Davidson also produced motorcycles for the Korean War and also for the Vietnam War.
Really?
So a little history, with the engine. Here we have the opposed cylinders. And the reason why this engine was built, or motorcycle was built, was because of World War II. It was actually used in North Africa against the Germans in the desert where it's really hot. And these cylinder heads could withstand the heat. About 100 degrees, a lot cooler than the V-twin engine at this time.
Wow.
So it's a little bit different motorcycle here. This is a Harley-Davidson time capsule. And it's donated to a museum from the Dealership Association in Japan back in 2000. And what's in her vehicle identification numbers of vehicles they sold in Japan during that year. Different bikes that we have stored here. Some are from our experience gallery. I'll talk a little bit about the scooter first, and also the two bicycles here. They were used for marketing, and they were used at rallies and get-togethers like Sturgis, Daytona. The marketing guys would take the scooter or the bicycle, drive around, and promote the event that was going on. You see, so you see the wooden rims, which were common during that time.
Wooden?
Yeah, wooden rims, those are wood.
Wow.
Yeah, the second one, the race bike has the wooden rims, which were common at that time. And if you look at the sprocket, you see HD Harley-Davidson.
Oh, right. Yeah.
You guys are familiar with the TV show American Pickers?
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the picks they found an HD bicycle sprocket paid $50. And they had it appraised at the end of the show for $400. So you can imagine the value of the bike.
Right.
These are brand new, never used, but these are used at dealer shows.
Wow.
So these are never on the road. We're gonna head up to the third floor. Show you where we do our conservation next, and show you where we store some of our bikes.
Nice.
No way. Are you kidding me?
This is insane.
What are you guys thinking?
This is insane. It's exciting. What do you think?
How they work here.
I'm loving it. This is great.
I'm going to start out by the elevator door. You're going to see some fuel tanks. These fuel tanks are all pinstripe. We had a pinstripe demonstration here a couple of years ago. It was one of our exhibits. It would catch your eye. It would be right in front of the exhibit. They would pinstripe the fuel tank, the fenders, the frames of the motorcycle itself. These are all supported. There's a rod here holding up the fuel tanks, and there's a little wheel holding them up here.
So you brought in some outside pinstripers?
Yep, it was a pinstripe.
I wonder if Kyle did any of these.
I don't know. So I'll talk a little bit about the bikes here. I'll talk a little bit about the three bikes. The bike on the right, this was owned by Willie. Actually, this was designed by Willie G. It's not a practical motorcycle to ride. The seat is metal, the wheels aren't covered, so if you roll, pick up a lot of dust and dirt.
Right.
He was an industrial designer. He worked for the company about 49 years. Personal friend of myself. I work with his son. His son is my boss here at the museum.
Really?
Really? Still family.
So that tank that we saw downstairs, that was his signature? It said Willie G 2015?
Yeah. Another bike here. This is a prototype bike. Now, in reference to bikes, how we build them is kind of interesting. We have a couple steps involved. I'll just go over the steps with you. First of all, we have a design department. We design the motorcycle on paper, pencil, but more recently computer design. So once we get some idea, we build what are called concept motorcycles. Concept motorcycles is basically a marriage of engineering and design to test the motorcycle. We have a proving grounds in Yucca, Arizona. We'll take it out on one course, make sure all the parts don't fall apart. We also build a concept bike for parts and accessories. And then it goes into prototype. This is prototype. After prototype, our marketing guys decide whether they're going to sell that motorcycle or not. This did not make it, but it's a cool looking bike.
Yeah.
The one in the center also is a prototype. What's interesting about the one in the middle, right below it, if you notice, there's a turntable.
Right.
The turntable turns 10 different ways for photo shoots. Wow. This is where we do our photo shoots up here now. Mm-hmm. For new bikes, but more recently we've been doing it for outside catalog shots. This is where you get your catalog shots from here. The heavier bikes are on the lower level, the lighter ones are on top.
Gotcha.
But how it's set up here, there's like 20 sections. 3 sections high, go 6 deep here. But like I said earlier, we pulled one motorcycle off. We did not pull all the, we wouldn't have enough room for 7,000 motorcycles, not all the models. But we pull.
I used to read motocross magazines and see these enduros and bikes in there just, I was like 10 years old.
Now, how this works, this whole racking system, if you take a look over here, we just push a button here, and we can move one rack or all 20 of the racks at the same time.
Wow.
This looks better shaped than
Right. So something like this
Rob's
bike.
bike, right?
It's the 100th anniversary of this guy.
Something like this bike. Anything in here, is it special, or do they keep all of them? Do they keep one of each just to...
One of each year. Sometimes we have doubles in some years, but it might be a different model.
And this was ridden, or...
Some of these were ridden, but most of them were used at dealer shows.
Gotcha.
I got to point out a motorcycle we have in our display area here. It only has 4 miles on it.
Wow.
And I think it's a 37 UL model.
Wow.
Different models. We do rotate the motorcycles occasionally. Give you an example. Next month we have Veterans Day. We'll pull some of the military bikes, put them in the front lobby for veterans to enjoy.
Nice.
New ones. This is a old board track one that's restored.
So before they go out, they'll drop them off the rack and then they'll put oil in.
We have a forklift. We'll fork them,
Yep.
pull them out, place them on the floor here. 2 guys, we unstrap them, then off the back we can roll it. This is somewhat similar to some of the delivery system we use at our dealerships.
Yeah.
With a crate in.
Right.
Yeah, it's similar to it.
And then
But
they
this-
put
Behind the gate. Sign in. He lets us in. We're in.
By wire.
What are you thinking, man?
This is so awesome. We're so spoiled. So lucky.
We're in the secret areas of Harley-Davidson, and we're having a blast checking all this stuff out.
Just amazing. I mean, look at all the bikes and different gears and genres. That's a 2-seater.
Right.
Like, really?
All right. Like I said, that was the 20. If you look at the video in the middle, the guys are working on the 27. They have the motorcycle on the hoist, taking the parts off. You see a guy go over to the desk, he's writing stuff, verify it has a Harley-Davidson part number. Clean the parts, there's another guy on the left there in the blue shirt, he's cleaning those parts, and we put the motorcycle back together. We write a condition report on, we'll take it up here, take a couple photographs. We may put it in the archives area here, or else we'll put it on the floor. But,
So every part has a part number on it.
yeah. And the black motorcycle in front of us here is based off a German motorcycle called a DKW. Now, during World War II, there were no civilian motorcycles built, so there was a demand after the war to build motorcycles. And Harley-Davidson produced the small motorcycles from about 1948 to about 1959. This had a small engine in, 125cc. The brakes were not the best, but they got people on motorcycles after World War II. A third of production from Harley-Davidson in 1948 were these smaller bikes. This is similar to the black one, except had a bigger engine, and this had a 165cc engine. It's called a Hummer.
The Hummer.
Yeah, the name Hummer came from a dealership in Omaha. Dean Hummer sold the most of these, and they kind of nicknamed it after him.
Gotcha.
So I'll talk a little bit about the yellow and also the copper one next, you guys. Yellow motorcycle in front of us, 1954. Now during the early 50s, all the way up until the mid 50s, there are a lot of English motorcycles being exported from England, sold in the United States without taxes and tariffs. And Harley-Davidson knew there was demand for this bike. So what they did was they built the KH model here. But this is based off the English motorcycle.
Wow.
It's your precursor to your Sportster.
Yeah.
You see the Sportster
Yeah.
over here, 1957. The Sportster platform is the largest family of motorcycles that Harley-Davidson produced production-wise. There's 6 groupings of motorcycles, but this is the biggest one here. EMF Harley-Davidson worked with Porsche Corporation on the engine development. The intent was to build these into 2 cylinders, 4 cylinders, and 6 cylinders, but because of cost overrun, EMF Harley-Davidson does not produce this motorcycle. This is the prototype motorcycle in front of us. It's made from wood and cardboard here. But if you look where the fairing is up front, you're going to see 2 ports. Those 2 ports are connected to your radiator. But it's a regular engine, real engine. fiberglass.
Gotcha.
But
But
it's a
AMF
prototype.
Harley-Davidson's put $60 million in the AMF project for a period of 3 years that does not produce this motorcycle.
Wow.
But after 13 years, AMF decided to sell its motorcycle division and was looking for other people to buy Harley-Davidson. No one wanted to buy Harley-Davidson anymore. So as a last straw, AMF Corporation offers the company back to their employees. The employees buy the company back in 1982. They pay $104 million for it. Each executive, there's 13 executives, we put up about $1 million per executive. We have bank.
We're at the Harley Museum having some lunch or a snack. What do you got, Josh?
Got a nice MKE IPA, pretty good beer. And we got
Excellent.
some pulled pork tacos with avocado and salsa. Pretty killer setup here.
Excellent. I got the same thing with, I forget what my local beer was, but hey, very cool. Galen's doing some business. What do you got?
I've got a taco and an MKE. That's the way you do it when you come to Milwaukee. Get the local beer.
And there you have it.
What a great time to come to the motherland, the home, and see what we saw.
Yeah, I mean, it was much better than I even thought it was going to be. I mean, to get into that private vault and see all those bikes in there, hundreds of bikes from every period, it's amazing.
Yeah, and for me, walking around and looking at all the cool stuff in the origination, I also was excited watching these two guys really have a good time looking at everything.
Yeah, and you got a text from Lance?
Yeah, Lance said he wishes that he's bummed that he wasn't here with us.
We wish you were too, but you're not.
So, great time at the museum. If you ever get a chance to see it,
Come here.
yeah.
We're going to head to, I think, House of Harley for a little bit, right?
Yeah, we're gonna go to House of Harley, meet those guys, and
Go see
have fun
Tommy
over
and
there.
some friends.
Yeah.
Cool. Look at these flags. Just whoa. You got the hog. You got the Harley. American flag. Beautiful.
Love it. See you down the road.
Wow, look at that. We're riding out of the museum. Beautiful American flag flying there for us. Awesome stuff. Did you enjoy yourself?
That was a blast, man. We're going to head and run over, see if we can ride by Harley headquarters. Yeah, that was very cool of those guys to set that up for us.
Totally. Behind the scenes museum special time right there.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, we'll jump on the 94. I'll see you over at House of Harley.
You got it.
Later.
Later. Wow, here we are pulling into Harley HQ. Look at that. There it is. Harley headquarters. Get me a picture right here.
So we just got off at 60th Street, and we are headed to the House of Harley.
Yes, it'll be fun to go in there and see what these guys are all about.
Yeah, it'll be really cool. So, hey, what happened to you back there? You said you got a hole-in-one?
Yeah, there's like a perfect a hole to really get your tire in, but there's a wide open lane, but you find the hole.
Oh, so what you're telling me is you just got swallowed up. You weren't paying attention.
I was fiddling with my phone, and all of a sudden, clink,
Klinkenheimer?
like, It's like, okay, but you know what? Good thing these are strong rims, right?
All right.
Here we are, House of Harley.
There we are. House of Harley.
We'll go in there and meet Tommy. Might as well park in front of the front window.
Wow, you guys, we just got to House of Harley, and we're excited to go in there and see what House of Harley is all about.
Yeah, can't wait to meet Tommy and crew. We're standing in front of this great replica of a Harley Pretty cool. We'll see you inside.
You know, it's interesting though, real quick. We left California and now we're in Wisconsin at House of Harley.
Hey guys, so we made it inside House of Harley. Alex, great guy here, is going to take us around and give us the history of this place. Can't wait to hear it.
We're gonna check it out. Come with us.
So 2018, obviously huge anniversary year for Harley-Davidson. So we decided to memorize it, put a huge spray painted mural up in the dealership just to recognize the years of fantastic motorcycles and all the history that Harley-Davidson has brought in you know, that 110 years.
So you spray painted it?
That was all, yeah, hand spray painted. So we're gonna head down in the service shop and give you guys a look.
All right, cool.
So we got 9 full-time techs that stay busy 24/7 year-round. We don't lay anybody off during the winter. We have a storage facility on site, and we'll store probably approximately 1,000 bikes. Last year we did 840. This year we're expecting to do 1,000.
So do you winterize them, or you just...
Yep, we do a whole winter process, put the treatment in the fuel, air up tires, do a full check-over inspection, and then upsell any kind of labor, maintenance, services. We've got a bunch of projects that we're already working on.
Yeah, it's amazing in California, you don't see this at a dealership.
Yeah, I suppose a little bit different atmosphere for you guys coming out here and checking it out. So we're standing in our dyno room where we're doing most of our performance tuning. We'll tune anything from pipes and air cleaner, simple setup, to the new 131 builds. We've done a handful of them so far here. Great numbers, a lot of fun. I haven't heard
What
any
kind of
complaints.
numbers are you getting?
We're getting anywhere from mid to upper 130s and 140s horsepower and torque. Just depends.
Really?
Exhaust, air cleaner setup. It's, you know, all the little intricate details you can.
My bike's getting picked up on like Monday, I
Sure.
think. Can
Yeah.
you just...
Let's go get it written out. We can do that for sure.
So this is your storage facility? Or?
This is floor 1 of our storage facility. Yeah, so all the, I'll show you all the racks that we have outside are just palletizing for motorcycles. But literally, we finished this at the end of last month. We have the Milwaukee Rally every year for Labor Day weekend, and we had occupied it without maybe 100% license and clarification from the city, but it was really cool just because we were probably in about half the space of what it used to be.
And how many bikes will you get in here?
We're hoping to see 1,000 bikes for storage.
Wow.
So we did 840 last
1,000 bikes. Let's
1,000
go.
motorcycles. Yeah, for sure. Lots of toys to play with all winter. But it's a great opportunity for us when you've got, you know, 4 to 5 months of downtime. You don't want to do something in the middle of summer like build a motor or do some paint work or wheels or anything like that that's going to keep the bike off the road for the short season we have.
Like if a guy does work, do you charge him for a storage fee?
Nope, if a customer spends $650 in parts and labor, then you waive the storage fee.
That's easy to hit.
That's
Yeah,
great.
it's not hard
That's
at all.
a great idea.
For sure. So
Keeps your guys busy.
absolutely, and that's a goal. I mean, we're not trying to make a killing on work. It's more just keeping everybody full-time employed. So all these pallets out here are going to be for upstairs, which we'll show you guys.
Oh, so you're just going to rack them?
Yeah, we'll have a racking setup that's not installed yet. We're waiting on that stuff to arrive. But yeah, we'll be racking the second floor too high, just to get as much in as we can.
It's amazing.
We should be able to put about 400 to 500 bikes up here when all the racking is installed and everything's done. Let's play some ice hockey. Yeah. Flat track, whatever you want to do in here right now.
Yeah, you could have your little flat track sessions going.
We usually would have enough room in that little area downstairs to put about 30 to 40 bikes. So we weren't parking everything in the shop and you could kind of move around. But yeah, it was cramped.
Level, or is that just an elevator? Or?
So that's an elevator. It'll be 3 stops. So you're on the 3rd stop. The 2nd stop is coming right off the showroom.
Okay.
So when we have events, parties, anything like that, we can roll them into the elevator and either go up here and put them or downstairs.
Shit, so now we're going to have to come back for events and parties.
Yeah. We'll get you guys to 1 or 2, maybe in February for Flat Out Friday.
Right.
Not a try.
that sounds
Definitely.
good. Hey, so what a great day. Appreciate meeting Tommy and Alex. Really gave us a great tour of the dealership and the history of it.
Yeah.
And we forget as warm weather boys what you have to go through in the winter. To see this facility is just absolutely crazy.
I appreciate you guys riding up. It was like a great adventure. Stopping in. Hope you enjoyed the museum in Milwaukee as a whole. You guys are
awesome.
welcome back anytime you want.
Oh, we'll be back. We've just begun, you know? But
And we appreciate you guys hosting our trip along the way. The support there, that
was
you
good.
don't get a lot of that kindness from some folks, and we appreciate that.
Yeah. And keep your eyes out. They're building
We're
a
building
bike.
a couple bikes actually coming down the road. We got a project that we're going to be putting a 131, the lowrider S. A couple little tricks and gadgets in there. We're looking to push 150 horsepower. It will be on our Instagram, on our website. So check us out, House of Harley on Instagram or houseofharley.com. It's going to be a good one.
Right on, right on.
Come see these guys. Great service department, great sales group. Come see them. They're great.
They make you feel like family. Yeah, sure.
Thanks,
See you
guys.
down the road.
Thank you guys.